Today I want to show you how to access Smarter Balance reports. These reports are custom-made reports in Illuminate. You just have to go in and choose which report you want to run and then which students you want to access the reports for. You can choose to either access reports for your current students to see how they did on the Smarter Balance test last year, or you can look at how your students from last year did on the test. So you're going to go to View Reports. And they give you 3 different options for reports that are available to you. And so if they're not in the top, you're going to want to search for Smarter Balance reports. So you have the option to do a roster report. And so if you are an English teacher or a math teacher, maybe you want to look to see how individual students did in that specific area. And so it'll give you a list of your students by class. You can also do an individual report. Oops. You can do an individual report for a student to see how they specifically did. And so this you might want to run if you are working with a specific student. You want to see where they are, where their claim areas lie. And then the last report you can run is an overall summary. And so this report I would run to see how all of our juniors did last year in English or in math. If you have a specific group of students, like you taught English 11 last year and you wanted to see how all of your students did overall. So this is a summary report. For most teachers, I would think most teachers would run a roster report. So this will be the one that will. When you get to the reports, you can decide which reports you want to run for your students. I would think most teachers would want to run the report for their current students, but you have to keep in mind that only our current 12th grade and current 9th grade students will have data from last year. 9th graders tested as 8th graders and seniors tested as 11th graders. So if you were to have juniors or sophomores, you would just have to change the testing year to a time when those students would have tested in order to have data to pull on them. So if you're testing your current students, you keep the control panel date the same. Testing year would be last year. Subject area, English or math, depending on which scores you want to see. And then it'll also give you which test. So if you're testing your 9th graders, 8th grade, if you're testing your seniors, 11th grade. And then once you get that set up, you go by teacher, classes, and so under classes, you can pull up your classes by period. So if you have a specific class that you want to see, and you can choose to either pull them up one period at a time. So if you just want to see your 5th period class, see how they did, or if you want to see, how both of them did. You can pull up both classes together. I would feel that most teachers would want to run a roster report if you're trying to maybe create groups or see how your students would work together. So for my current 11th graders, I can see how my students from last year did. So if you're wanting to see, if you're a junior teacher, you want to know how your students from last year did, you would have to change the date to 18-19 semester 2. And then I can pull up my students from last year. So I know a lot of English 11 teachers were looking to see how their students from last year did. And so you would have test year was 2018, ELA final. Then you click View in Browser. And once it pulls it up, you get a roster report for your students to see which levels they did well on, if they're above the standard, near the standard, below the standard, a scale score. And so pretty much in this area, this is where you can choose your students, choose what reports, if you want English or math. But it just depends on which students you're looking to see data on. And if you have other questions, feel free to email me, mwillis@dusd.net. give me a call and I can try to help you pull up your own students. Thank you very much.